Hi, I'm Tori Amos, and I'm on Loveline coming up next.
Loveline is meant for an adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content.
Loveline. Viewer discretion advised.
To Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. This, settle down, please. All right, relax, everyone, please. I am Adam Carolla. This is Dr. Drew. He's a board-certified physician. He's an addiction medicine specialist. He also experiments on monkeys in a lab that he keeps in his basement. You know that?
No, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that, Drew?
It must be in my sleep or something.
Alcoholic blackout, I think, perhaps.
That's it.
All right. It is our pleasure to have as a guest tonight not only just a wonderful human being, but a wonderful musician. Tori Amos is our guest. Also, we will be checking in with the lovely, responsible and wild all at the same time, Chris Magaha. Hi, Chris.
Thanks, guys. What a raucous audience.
All right, Drew, ready to get rolling here?
I am ready. Let's go.
You sure?
I'm sure.
All right. Chris is at the phone booth. Chris, who do you have for us?
I am over here hidden with Mike, and he's got a very interesting question for you.
Yeah, I went out dancing one night, and I met this beautiful young lady, and we're dancing and having a great time and kissing and everything. One thing led to another, and we went back to our hotel, and we started kissing some more and everything, and she started feeling up on me, and I started feeling up on her breast, and all of a sudden I started going up her leg, and I felt that she had a penis. After this, I was totally shocked and amazed, but since I enjoyed my time with this...
That happened to me once, too. I was alone, but I was a little bit... I was caught off guard, I guess, is what it was, Drew. All right,
continue, Mike.
But anyway, since I enjoyed being with this man, I was wondering, might this make me gay, or...
No. I mean...
Well, wait a minute.
It would make
it sure is close.
Well, it would make him gay if he went back and pursued a relationship with this person.
But he may not be A, but he's got the G down pretty good.
All right, but this has nothing to do with your sexual orientation. You terminated the relationship at that point, is that correct?
Yes.
What did you do when this happened?
I was just totally shocked, and I just left the hotel.
And you've had no contact with this person since?
Never.
Yeah, it's sad for that person. I mean, but it's understandable. The person deceived you, and they turned out to be something very different.
But what is that person thinking? I mean, in terms of... how do you ease a penis into the equation? I mean, do they just figure that, well, they're halfway home and
it may be somebody who is a transsexual who's going through the process of living as a female before they actually have the operation. That's what happens. I mean, there were breasts, there was everything except the genitalia hadn't been
some big breasts.
converted. And this may, phenotypically or externally, this may be a female in a few years. But
well, so you get a number at least. I mean,
but Mike, I mean, it sounds like you were not comfortable with this. You terminated it. And what can you say? It's an experience, and it has nothing to do with your sexual orientation, and you'll live to see another day. Okay?
All right,
Mike,
get some glasses. That's my ultimate advice. All right, it is time to bring out the guest. This is a woman who we've had on the radio show a couple of times. It's just one of the most fascinating and talented women walking on the planet at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, Tori Amos. Thank you for joining us, Tori. I absolutely adore you.
Well, thank you, Adam.
You are absolutely possessed when you play. and I mean that in a good way. I don't mean it in a Linda Blair way, but I mean when you are at the piano, and by the way, it is just Tori in the piano. There's no overdub sampling, a brass section, choir behind her. It is just Tori in the piano, and she is like in a zone. I mean, what would you know what I'm saying?
Well, I was brought up Christian. Very, 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 very Christian. So I had to put my passion in something because passionate behavior wasn't really sort of acceptable in the house. Jim Morrison wasn't let in the house. Jimi Hendrix wasn't let in the house. The Mary Magdalene wasn't let in the house. Even Pat
Boone had to wipe his feet before he came in. But
no, unfortunately, he could come in the house.
It was like a purging. This energy just flowed through you into the piano.
Well, I always said to my dad that my grandmother would have burned witches. She was a minister too. So my father was a Methodist minister, and both his parents were ordained ministers.
Now you have a new passion, this new organization I'm really interested in, that you're Calvin Klein's helping you promote?
RAINN, yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
RAINN is the Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network. And Calvin Klein has really come forward, and he's helping us out to fund the phone line, because the phone line was really...
It is a huge problem in this country. I guess they're going to show some video of you...
with Calvin, yeah.
And he designed a T-shirt for the cause?
Yeah, I think I have it here. These T-shirts.
I mean, I personally, this is wonderful, because I think that's one of the #1 problems in our country. Sexual and physical abuse is just unbelievably common in our culture. It's unbelievable. You guys have a phone number, I guess, for RAINN. It's 800-656-HOPE, H-O-P-E?
Yeah.
1-800-656-HOPE is the number there. They put it up on the screen for
you. It's a 24-hour rape hotline. So if you need to call, no matter what your experience has been, I think the main thing is sometimes people call up and say, well, you know, my friend has been gang raped, and I don't really feel like I've had that experience, so I don't feel like I have the right to call. And this is not a billboard chart of who ranks. You know, you don't get a number that what's making you feel terrible is more important or less important than anybody else. If something is really driving you sort of insane, and you don't feel like you can really deal with it, then you call this number, and it's like an emergency room. It helps take you to your next step.
All right, Drew, you want to take a call?
We'll talk more about this as we go along.
Oh, you know we will.
So this now is Ryan. Ryan is 18. Ryan, what can we do for you?
Well, first, before I ask my question, I just want to say, Tori, you rock. Keep it up. You know, your music is really digging. It's really playful. My question's really kind of for Dr. Drew.
Go ahead.
About a week or two ago, I got my penis pierced.
Right.
And, well, a few days ago, I was having oral pleasures performed upon me. And it's just a thin wire hoop, and it got caught in her teeth, and she jerked her head, and it pulled it out.
It ripped it out?
It ripped it out.
It ripped your tissue?
Yeah.
Where was it? Where was it?
Right in the head.
You're going to need tissue after that.
It's not bleeding anymore, is that correct?
Yeah, it's not bleeding, but see, my parents are really, really conservative.
So you can't go to a doctor?
I can't go because they'll find out.
How would they find out?
Because I'm on their insurance.
Word on the street, Drew, you know. Parents have a way.
Look, you don't have to go. First of all, whatever happens between you and a doctor after the age of 14, in most states at least, I think in all states as far as I understand, is completely confidential. There is nobody that can gain access to that information if you don't want them to have it, okay? Unless you're threatening to harm somebody or harm yourself. That's the only time that information will be given to anyone else. So you can go under any pretense you want. Your parents have no right to know what you're going for, and then have the information given to the doctor.
Was this a Prince Albert?
No, it sounds like it was just in the head, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Look, it can get infected. It can start bleeding again.
Well, I've got antibacterial stuff on it.
Well, all right. I mean, I'm telling you something. You're taking a big risk not having somebody look at it and make sure it's not something.
Will there be long-term damage, you think?
Is there a big tear?
It's not real big tear.
I think it will heal by itself, but the problem is the potential for infection. Infections in that area can spread very quickly and be quite serious. So if there's any heat, any discharge, any Is there any redness around there, any fever, chills, anything like that? You've got to go somewhere right away. So I would encourage you to go first. But good luck, Ryan. That's quite a deal.
Chris, who do you have for us at the Loveline bar?
I'm up here having a cappuccino with Josh, and he's got a question for you guys.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Josh.
Well, I've got this interest, and I don't think that it's unusual, but I've been made feel that it is. See, the deal is that I love watching my girlfriend give me oral pleasure, and it just really turns me on and just really gets me there. And I told her about it, and she hates it. She does not like me watching her, and she gets embarrassed and all that. And it's become kind of a problem because now I kind of do it subconsciously, and she'll kind of look up and see me doing it, and she'll stop. And my question is...
Could you put your penis through the mail slot and you stand outside on the porch? I don't understand what she wants.
Even I'm a little confused about that.
All right, Josh, we are going to unravel the mystery that is your penis and your girlfriend after we take a look at a Tori Amos video. We answer many questions throughout the course of the show, don't we, Drew?
That's right. You can call us and participate here at 213-520-LOVE. It's a 24-hour line at 213-520-LOVE.
We are back with the lovely Tori Amos, and when we I love Tori. We were talking to Josh, right?
Right.
At the Loveline bar. Now, Josh has a problem in that his girlfriend doesn't like him looking at her when she is pleasuring him orally. Okay. And what does she want like a divider between the two of you? Like you hold up a cafeteria tray or something? Or can you just watch TV?
Well, I really don't know what I look like when I'm watching her do it. So, I mean, maybe the look on my face has something to do with it.
How does she feel? Does she tell you what it is that bothers her? Does she feel demeaned, or?
I don't know. She just said that it kind of makes her, feel embarrassed. Like she's busy doing something and she doesn't like being watched doing that. I guess I don't know.
Tori's got something to say
Yeah,
about
but have you ever said, I think you're beautiful, and just watching you gives me more pleasure because I want to associate you giving me head, not somebody else. Guys, don't take this wrong, but sometimes you wonder, is he thinking about the drummer in the band? I mean, is he thinking about, who's he thinking about?
Right.
Because sometimes they're like, your head's down there and you kind of get bustled and buzzed. It's like, dude, the hairspray, wow. And,
if I had a nickel for every time some Marine...
No, but I mean, I do think that it's a thing. It's a wonderful feeling knowing that the man that you're pleasuring knows that it's you, that it's not some, nothing against all those girls on Friends or whatever, but it's like, hey, babe, you're not with them. You're with me. And if you want to be with me, this is intimate. It's between us.
Thank you, Josh. I think that says it all.
That was brilliant. Let's talk a little more about your organization, RAINN. How did you, what led you into founding that? You are the founder, right?
Well, it kind of started with me calling my manager and saying, there are so many girls that are coming backstage that have serious problems. One night it escalated to a point where there was a 14-year-old girl that had been brought backstage who was hysterical. And I came back after the show, and I said, what happened? I do Me and a Gun in the show. It's a song about rape. And I thought that might have upset her. So we brought her back and got her a cup of tea and said, what's happening? And she said, well, can I go with you? And we said, why do you want to go with us? And she said, well, my stepfather raped me last night. He'll rape me tomorrow night, and when I get home tonight, he'll rape me again. He's raped me every night for the last 7 years. And so, of course, we said, have you told your mother? And she said, my mother, forget it. She doesn't want to know. You can't tell her anything. So it just began with, I said, Arthur, I'm taking this girl tonight with us. That's my manager. And he said, Tori, you're crossing state line. You can't do this. And I said, you know, the vigilante I am. I said, yes, I am taking her. And he said, that doesn't solve the problem. And so it got down to just taking somebody away from the situation. The FBI, they were going to come down on me, and, you know, then I was going to end up in jail and get, you know, a broom up my butt, and that's really gross. And then so I said, you know...
But if you got to sweep, you got to sweep.
Well,
I mean...
But I don't want to sweep on my hat.
Oh, right. I see. I misunderstood.
I want to do a vertical, not a horizontal sweep. So I said, you know, Arthur, we have to, what are we going to do? So it was like, we need to get the people that know information, like you know this, to the people that need information. So that's why this show's so great. How do you get those two people together? So we brought a team of people together.
Right. Abuse is such a huge problem in our culture. It's just. I think we're just beginning to scratch the surface of it. Certainly, we hear about it a ton on this show, and it's just great that you guys have a resource out there. And we ought to give the number out again. It's 1-800-656-HOMO.
All right, Jessica on the Loveline phone. What is your question for us tonight?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi.
Hi.
The situation goes like this. I had an affair with a married man, and during the course of this affair, I became pregnant. Other than the married man, I had sex with another individual, but it was only one time. When the affair ended, I decided to file child support, and once we took the blood test, the test came back negative, that it wasn't by the married man. So my question is, how do I tell this other person that the child is really his?
The person you just had a one-night stand with?
Yes.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave through. We will get to this after the break. Do the email thing.
Emails, loveline3@AOL.com. Don't forget to leave us your phone number if you want us to give you a call back. Also, check out the Loveline area, keyword MTV on America Online.
All right, back with Tori, Drew, and Adam. And when we left off, we were speaking to Jessica on the Loveline phone. Now, Jessica is pregnant. I don't know. Did she have her child, or?
Yes, I did.
She had tested for paternity and turned out not to be the guy she was having a sustained affair with. It was a married guy. It's some guy she had a one-night stand with. And, well, I think they can...
But, Drew, you can get pregnant just from having sex one time?
Imagine that. Yes, sir.
Well, then forget it. I'm not trying it.
All right. I mean, Jessica, obviously there's sort of the bigger problem of why you choose these unavailable men and what's going on there, why you act out in this fashion. But right now, this issue with this pregnancy is you have a right to support from this fellow. God knows who he is or what his ability to provide that support is. I think you can contact local authority. The marshal will take care of it for you. But do you know how to find the guy?
Yes, I do.
Do you know his name?
Yes, I do.
Do you know where he lives?
Yes, I do.
Really?
I would just straight out contact him, and if you have problems, it's time to call Legal Aid Society or get an attorney. And you have every right to. He has a fiduciary responsibility to support your child if he's over 18, and so it is. Thanks, Jessica.
All right, let's talk to Emily, who's over at Dublin's on Sunset Strip. Emily?
Hi, I was wondering, I've been thinking about getting my nipples pierced, and would I still be able to breastfeed?
Answer to that actually is, as I understand, you can. Certainly the devices, whatever you have in there, can be taken out. And I don't know if it makes it any more...
Devices.
Well, whatever they... Piercing, I don't get pierced.
Don't call it a hoop a device.
I just don't get it.
Square. Would you call a stud or a hoop a device? These devices the kids are wearing, and these neck devices. What are they called? A necklace strap? Yes. They're all the rage.
I don't get piercing, but as I understand it, it does not prevent breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is already a kind of a difficult maneuver. people don't realize that the mother and child have to sort of learn how to do this. Each hospital usually provide experts who teach women how to do the breastfeeding. And certainly...
Really? They think they have an internship over there? Maybe I could get involved on a volunteer basis.
All right, Adam. But it does not prevent breastfeeding. It might make it more difficult, but it doesn't prevent it. So thanks for your question, Emily. Trey's 22.
I would leave one nipple unmolested just in case there was some residual effect to the piercing. I always leave one good thing. That's why God gave you two, so you could pierce one.
Yeah, but you guys don't have to, do you? I mean, you have nipples, but like the poor guy before that had he only gets one of those.
That's right. That's true. That means no piercing.
No, that means if you get it wrong, you get it really wrong.
Right. I'm not willing to chance that.
I don't think most guys are. I mean, some guys really like the way it feels, and it's just a drag that she had funny teeth, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there's your message. Don't date people with funny teeth.
Or braces.
Hey, what can I do for you? Go ahead.
I just want to say that I think it's great to be able to talk to Tori, and I think it's great what she's doing with RAINN. I wondered if you could help me with a little question I have. I've got sort of an unnatural obsession. I have this uncontrollable desire to see women's bare feet. When I've had a girlfriend in the past, I enjoyed touching or kissing her bare feet. But I'm single now, and when I'm in a public place, like a park or wherever women are wearing sandals or walking around barefoot, I find it very arousing and will sometimes think about touching their feet. I never act on it, but I was just wondering if this attraction is abnormal and how I can just sort of get over it so I don't find it so distracting.
You need to work in a shoe shop.
It's like Adam becoming an intern in the breastfeeding clinic.
I think women's feet it's a beautiful thing. So, I mean, God, you could have picked other parts of the body that are kind of not so groovy.
Well, but I think to me, I have no attraction to the woman's feet, except for, actually, the thing I like most about the feet is they're holding the breasts up. So I do acknowledge the feet and their importance, at least in that role. But I think it's a self-esteem thing, isn't it? Because it's like, kiss my feet.
Hey, look, I don't claim to know where these kinds of fetishes come from, but they certainly are not harmful. He doesn't have to worry about it.
I mean, Dr. Drew, how many men, and let's be honest, guys, in this audience, be honest, how many of you, when you see a woman with nice breasts, want to touch them? I mean, I think that a lot of guys, because I know I'm with a crew of 32 men. I have 32 guys on my crew. And they just watch these girls come in. I gotta say, guys, tune the piano. Guys, hello, back to work. I mean, women think very differently from men, even though it's like, oh, he's got a cute ass. It's like, hang on a minute, I'm fascinated how much men think about sex.
And how visually preoccupied
and they're very preoccupied. And so if this guy's into feet, I mean, you know.
So
it sounds pretty benign.
Benign. Don't worry about it. That's his thing, Trey. Don't worry, okay?
All right.
I have a concern about him working in a shoe store, however. He could get a little bit carried away.
He's been in the bathroom for an hour and 45 minutes now with Mrs. Scholes, actually. All right, Chris, who do you have for us?
I'm over here with this good-looking guy, Jason. Come on up, and he's got a question for you.
How you doing? I'm 20 years old, and I have a 2-year-old son. And it seems like when I date women or I tell them, I have a 2-year-old son, it seems like that's the last time I talk to him, I see him. And so my problem is my question actually is, how do I tell a woman that I'm interested in that I have a son without scaring her off?
There are some people that you're just going to scare off.
He's dating totally the wrong girls because he's a good-looking guy. He seems like really nice. I'm sure there's thousands of women that would love to go out.
There will, but there also are a lot of young people that are overwhelmed by the idea of having a child. They don't want to raise somebody else's child. They don't want a child at all. They're not ready for that kind of commitment. It's very scary to a 20-year-old or 18-year-old or 22-year-old to take on that kind of a responsibility.
But probably more women willing to date a guy with a child than there are men willing to date a woman with a child, which is kind of sad because it usually turns out that the women are the ones with the kids.
Yeah, that's right.
It's actually the guy out dating is what caused them to be home with the
Well,
kid.
that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. He's obviously like screaming responsible here.
And I think it's great that you're putting the kid as a priority in your life, and so you require that as part of the relationship. So it will work out.
Hey, and I would at the beginning call him your dwarf buddy. Okay, all right. I'm looking for an innovative way.
All right.
Put him in a little elf shirt.
Aaron. Aaron is 19.
What's your question, Aaron?
Hi. Hi, Tori. I just wanted to say that. I have a boyfriend that's somewhat violent. He hasn't struck me or anything, but he wants to do, like, violent things during sex and whatnot. And I'm cheating on him with another guy that's really nice to me and whatnot. But I'm scared on how to tell this one guy how I want to break up with him and whatnot, because I'm afraid he's going to attack me.
All right, so it's intimidating. All right, this is pretty heavy, and it's going to take some investigation, and we'll investigate it after we take a look at Hey Jupiter. They get tickets so they can come visit you.
They can visit you too if they're in Los Angeles or 18 or older, and by calling for tickets at 213-896-3035. Again, that's 213-896-3035. All right,
more Tori, more Drew, and more Me Too. And when we left off, we're speaking to, I'm Dr. Seuss all of a sudden. We left off, we're speaking to Erin. Now, Erin has got herself in a little bit of a pickle because...
Abusive boyfriend.
Right.
Having an affair with another guy.
Who's not abusive yet.
Yet, who's supposedly nice. What do you think?
Everyone's nice when they're two-timing. Because, seriously, it should be the name of your next CD.
But you're alluding to something interesting, and that is that Erin is sort of maybe off in terms of her judgment on who she chooses to be in relationships with.
Yeah, if you're having a relationship with a guy who's cheating on another woman in another relationship, you will then take the role of that woman, and the next new woman will come along and take your role. It is the circle of the wheel of the chain of,
But the fact is that what Anne's bringing up the point is that there might be something internal within you that causes you to choose relationships that tend to be abusive. And this is apropos to what Tori's helpline is about. I mean, people suffer forms of abuse in childhood and then act those same relationships out in adulthood as a way to try to master those things in childhood, which were so horrible. Did anything happen to you, Erin, when you were growing up?
Yeah, I was raped by my father since I was 5.
Okay, all right. And so, having been through that kind of abuse, unless you were treated, unless you get some help, and this requires a lot of treatment over an extended period of time, that trauma is going to enter into every relationship you have from now on. There's going to be chaos, and there's going to be impossible difficulties trying to achieve real intimacy.
I've been trying to get out of harmful relationships, and I've been seeing like a shrink and all that to talk to him about it, and no matter what I do, I can't get out of it.
I think what everybody's saying here is that there's something in you you're not able to get out. Now, you have to look at that. There's something in you that feels like you don't have a choice here. You have a choice, but a lot of times people, they go to what they know. And it's the strangest thing, but sometimes you equate love with in a very strange way. Even though a part of you wants to get out, you're not out yet. So you've got to really look at that.
Could she call your helpline? Would somebody that get referred?
Could call it. And
now, she already has a psychiatrist in the treatment team.
But I really have to say to you that you need to maybe really think about who you're seeing. And maybe I'm stepping lines here, but if you're seeing a psychiatrist, somebody who's trained, and you're still in an abusive relationship months later, you've got to go, hang on a minute. What isn't adding up here? It's like, wait a minute.
Well, she's not following direction, I'm sure. And what the direction would be is no relationships for a while. Erin, time out. Okay, time out for Erin. that you stop having relationships, work on Aaron for a while, because every relationship that you're going to find is going to be abusive, or if it's a quality relationship where there's a potential for intimacy,
she'll push it away.
You'll push it away. You won't be able to tolerate it. So no relationship, Aaron, for a while, just for a while. And in the future, there is the potential for a quality relationship.
Here is the thing that I think is interesting that we have talked about, that I've been finding out, because we get so many calls and so many questions. Now, Drew, you knew that she'd been abused.
Yeah.
Because people aren't much different in how they respond to the stimuli.
Right. You abuse somebody, this is how they behave in adulthood.
Right. And we're led to believe that we are a society built of
free will
and individuals, and that we all, everyone's different, and you can't say what's right for them is right for you, and so on and so forth. And I'm not talking about turning this into China, but there are certain rules that apply to human beings. Like when they want to study the mating habits of polar bears, they just take 10. They don't take every polar bear in existence. They just take 10. They watch them for a couple of weeks, and they go, all right, now we know. And as sad as it is, humans work that way too, in a very basic way.
Right. Not to take anything away from the individual, but the fact is, if something happens at a certain period of development, there is a predictable outcome.
Unless you go through
a healing process.
And so when you said to her, you really have to go in and look at yourself, because it's easy to say, well, this guy's crummy or this guy's crummy, but
maintains the defense.
You're drawn to them.
Yeah.
Right.
And there has to be a level of responsibility. Even guys, if you're drawn to women who want to whip you and beat you and just urinate all over you, have to say, hang on a minute, there's something in me that I have to look at, that I'm attracted to this. Yeah.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Frank, who do you have for us?
Adam, this question is right up your alley. This is James.
Hey guys, how's it going?
You know what I think of when you say right up your alley.
Ah.
All right.
My problem is I haven't had sexual intercourse for 3 years, and what happened was I had a real serious girlfriend. She took my virginity, and I was in love with her, and she ended up dogging me. So ever since then, girls that I've dated have I have no problem doing anything and everything with them, such as oral pleasure and stuff like that, but I won't go all the way in the sake of getting hurt. And I'm stuck in between girls that want to go all the way or nothing at all, or girls that just don't want to do anything. So what can I do to get girls to meet me in the middle where I am?
You got to introduce beer into this place, right?
You know what? You said something really interesting. You said, she took my virginity.
Yeah.
See, you're coming from a victim space. You gave your virginity, or did she jump on top of you and put a gun to your head and say, give it up?
No.
Because, so you
Even then, I wouldn't consider it taking.
Because men get raped too.
Yeah.
So if you can say, hang on a minute, I gave my virginity. It was your choice. You did it. Then you take some responsibility. You're not this helpless little person here. You gave yourself to somebody that you thought you could trust.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't safe. It didn't feel good. But not all girls are like that. Some are.
I was going to say, don't you think he's projecting onto all these other women that he's having relationships with?
But he asked a specific question, I think and you're absolutely entirely correct in what's going on with him emotionally. But to answer your question specifically, I think a safer, more fruitful place for you would be to start with the girls who don't want to do anything, so to speak. Because what you'll find is when you are connected with them and do create a safe relationship that is genuine, then suddenly a physical relationship will grow out of that. So you'll get where you want to go. Okay?
Thanks a lot.
Now is Lily. L-I-L-I. Quite a name.
What's your question, Lily?
Hey, I've been intimate with a female friend off and on for like 3 years, and about 6 months ago she caught herpes from another female, and we haven't been intimate since, she caught it or whatever, but I was wondering if I wanted to be, was it safe to have oral sex if the herpes is in recession, or is it still contagious?
This sounds like a job for dental dam man. All right, we will get into this question after we take a look at silent all these years.
My funny little shape. Let's hear what you think of me now, but baby, don't look up. The sky is falling.
Tuesday on an all-new Buzzkill. Love is in the air. Buzzkill.
It's natural to be inquisitive, and you can ask all those questions to Dr. Drew and myself if you call what number, Drew?
Number is 213-520-LOVE, 24 hours a day. If it's busy, please keep trying. The lines will open up, and we'll get back to you.
All right. A little more Loveline to go. When we left off, we were speaking to Lily on the Loveline phone, and Lily's question was, what was it?
Happy.
Oh, the happies, yes. Lily has a girl that she's been having sex with on and off. That girl's got hooked up with another girl who then she contracted the happies.
Which is an interesting case in point, how readily somebody can get oral genital transmission of herpes. You can go from the genital to the mouth, from the mouth to the genitals. And Lily, if you have oral genital contact with her, you can contract it. You can contract it whether or not she has an active outbreak. Certainly it's less infectious, less contagious, when there is not an active outbreak, and terribly contagious if she's having symptoms. But it can be transmissible really at any time. Okay?
Okay.
All right, use a dental dam. That's the way around.
Nobody will use that dental dam.
Well, look, maybe Lily will. By the way, just because you won't use it doesn't mean nobody will use it. Okay?
Chris, who do you have for us?
I'm up here at the Cappuccino Bar with James, and he's got a question for you.
Okay, I've been dating this girl for about 2 months now, and we've become very intimate with each other. Now, we're two types of people, she's very kinky and I'm very, romantic. And what I mean by kinky is, she pulls out the handcuffs and dresses up in, characters and stuff. But see, my question is how do I bring romance into our kinky relationship, or kinky sex life, so that we can both be satisfied?
Tori, can you help this man?
Oh, what does she dress up as?
Wonder Woman.
Oh, wow. She have that lasso of truth and everything?
So does she like to dominate you then?
She's very aggressive.
Do you like that?
Oh, yes, I do.
You just want to bring a little Frank Sinatra and wine to go with it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think she should compromise. If you're willing to be dominated, she should have a little bit of candles and whatever music you like. I mean, if you like each other, if you like to be dominated, and she dominates, but you kind of want to change the setting, say, will you dance with me with your handcuffs?
Yeah, really, there's not much else you can say except just propose to her what it is you'd like to do and see if you can reach a compromise position. I mean, you've said yourself you like being dominated, so that's something that...
Well, why do you like being dominated?
It makes it more fun for me, I guess.
Well, but it's really about adding to the relationship
It's adding. So the things that you like...
I guess I'd like to satisfy her, because she's satisfying me all the time.
Oh, I think she's being very satisfied.
Anytime there's a Wonder Woman outfit involved, you can bet there's satisfaction going down as well.
Thank you, James.
Bob on the phone, what's your question for us?
Here's my situation. I masturbate a lot, average probably twice a day. I was wondering if there's a finite number of sperm, or if by masturbating so much I'm risking losing my sex drive later in life.
Let me dispense with Bob. It hurts me to hear these calls after having such poignant advice from Tori, but let's deal with Bob's problem. Bob,
these are real
problems
by working men.
I understand that. All right, Bob, here's the deal. There is no finite amount of sperm produced in the male. In fact, the more you produce, the more you'll tend to produce, the higher testosterone levels will be. So being sexually active, sexually aroused, tends to actually increase your sexual arousal and your sperm production.
But everything else is that way in your body, too. It's like you don't just keep making blood, you'd explode.
You do keep making blood.
No.
Again, if you lose blood, you make it even more. Your body turns on.
But don't you... All right, but what I'm saying is if you had blood drawn out of you...
Yes, you replace it.
You would replace that blood.
Right.
but you wouldn't keep going past the 7 or 8 pints you currently have in you.
Right, but if you kept having blood drawn out, your body would charge itself up in such a way as to be able to produce more blood regularly.
Right, but so there's many things in the body that sort of replenishes itself and then tops it off, and if you keep emptying the sperm bucket, it's gonna name my next band, by the way.
There is a little corollary to this, and that is that if you're trying to get someone pregnant, if fertility is an issue, you can actually reduce your sperm count by, what do you call it, emptying the bucket? What was your What was your band?
There's a hole in the bucket.
In your case, there certainly is, sir. And
there's a hole in the hamper. All right.
And you might want to wait a few days in between to sort of optimize the sperm count, but you will not run out of sperm. You will not decrease your sexual performance.
All right.
So, Tori, the number of your organization again,
The number is 1-800-656-HOPE.
And Unlock the Silence is the concert that is going to be played.
You'll be able to call in if you want to be a volunteer to help professionals. There are people there that have been trained, and yet if you want to volunteer to, help them.
Great.
And you'll be able to do that if you want to do that.
They're T-shirts? These are the T-shirts, I guess?
These are the T-shirts. And every time you purchase one, part of the money goes to a fund line.
That's great. Fantastic.
Beautiful work you're doing, Tori. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Boys for Pele. It's a great CD, and it's a great woman who's into many great causes, so she deserves to be supported. So go out and get the frickin' CD, would you? All right. Also, Chris Magaha, thank you very much. And until next time, I'm Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
Loveline is a Stone Stanley production. Yeah. Cool.
Armatron does